Good morning and welcome, everyone. My name is Ramya Ramakrishnan, and I'm the Community Outreach Director at the Hindu American Foundation, which is one of the co-hosts for the AAUC Summit. It is my distinct privilege to be moderating today's panel discussion on a topic that's both critically important and profoundly personal to many of us here, immigration issues and advocacy. The United States has long been a beacon of hope and opportunity for people from all corners of the globe. It represents a land where freedom and equality are not just ideals, but achievable realities for those who work hard and believe in their dreams. Many of us, our parents and even our grandparents, made the journey to this country seeking better opportunities, liberty, and the chance to build a better future, a pursuit that embodies the American dream and democratic values. Our Asian American communities have made significant strides in realizing this dream, but the path has not been without its hurdles. Today, we'll explore the challenges that many Asian Americans face and discuss how we can all come together to advocate for meaningful solutions. I'm thrilled to introduce our esteemed panelists who bring a wealth of experience and dedication to this crucial conversation. Each comes from a unique background and has been a passionate advocate for their communities and for immigration reform in this country. Their insights will be invaluable as we navigate these complex issues. Without further ado, I want to extend a warm welcome to Satyanarayan Krishnamurthy, Luciana Hansen, and Mai Chi Wu. Please come to the stage. Satya Krishnamurthy is an active member of GOPIO, Global Organization of People of Indian Origin, an international network dedicated to addressing human rights violations affecting people of Indian origin. In addition to his extensive career as a data professional in the field of information technology, he serves as an honorary board member for the Karnataka Cultural Organization Brindavana, based in New Jersey. As an immigrant experiencing difficulties because of green card backlog, Satya is deeply involved in advocacy efforts, supporting legal immigration reforms that would positively impact millions of Asian Americans who have been living and working in the US for decades. Satya resides in New Jersey with his wife and their teenage son. Welcome, Satya.
Thank you.
Luciana, Lucy Tuga Hansen, was born in Tau Manua, Pago Pago, American Samoa. In 1985, she moved to Alaska to be closer to her family. In the early 2000s, Hansen began teaching elders in the Pacific Islander community computer literacy courses. She later became the founder and CEO of the Polynesian Association of Alaska in 2005, which is a nonprofit organization with a mission to support individuals, improve families by promoting education, and instill cultural pride in youth. Hansen also started a Polynesian Cultural Saturday School in partnership with the Anchorage School District, teaching our Samoan and Tongan language and culture in Anchorage. She has served as a board member and the vice president of Bridge Builders of Anchorage. Luciana is a Pacific in her community. So glad you could join us today, Lucy. Welcome. Mai Chi comes from a family of 9 children and is the first person in her family to attend college. She holds a Bachelor of Science and Master's degrees in elementary education. Hope, Hmong Open Partnerships in Education, Community Academy, opened its doors in fall 2000 to more than 300 K-3 students. Currently, Hope serves over 800 pre-K-12 students and has been in operation for 25 years, servicing students who are mostly English language learners. Amazing. In addition to being an educator, she has been recognized locally for her community activism. She has served on the City of St. Paul, Payne, Phelan Community City Council, and the View Family of Minnesota Board. She's collaborated with the Lower Fallon Creek Project, Friends of Swede Hollow, among other local organizations. Mai Chi is also a co-founder of MAPAC. Welcome. Ahead of us. Satya, I'm going to start with you first. The green card backlog currently affects 1.5 million Indian Americans, including you. Please talk to us about your lived experiences and your challenges as you currently face as a qualified tech professional who moved here a decade ago.
Good morning, Ramya.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity for me to represent 2 million Asian immigrants who are currently waiting for an employment-based green card. Unfortunately, most of us will not be seeing the green card in our lifetime. I'm going to be talking about that. So, Ramya, since you asked about my journey and my story and the challenges, I would like to generalize a little bit because the story is going to resonate with the almost all of us, who are waiting in the green card backlog, right? So we come to America on the employment-based green card in two ways. Our visa journey starts in two ways. Either we try to get a student visa by spending fortunes to study in great colleges in America because we want to upskill ourselves and contribute to this world, right? And once we study here, we convert ourselves into what is called immigration visa, that is worker visa called H-1B, which is a specialty occupation. And then, or we also directly get selected on the H-1B lottery. Again, that's a lottery. If you're lucky, you get selected, and then you come to America with your family and with your, Asian country born kids who are not born here. So I got my son who was just about 3 years old when he moved to America. And then we slowly started working here, and my son started studying, and then we slowly started to build our American dreams. We wanted to realize the American dreams. And we significantly contribute to the economy by paying huge amount of taxes every month. And then we make this country great by contributing to the technology world, the healthcare, and whatever the sectors that you're talking about, right? And we feel that America is our home, and we are feeling that we are the integral part of this country. And after several years of our work life, then our employers will initiate the green card process for us. Because we are loyal, we are skillful, and we are dedicated, and we are very good law-abiding residents here too, right? So they process the green card, which will take about 2 to 3 years tedious process again, for us to get a official approval from the U.S. government that hey, you are now eligible to get a green card, with all the vetting process. And then, we'll be jubilant that, we are approved for a green card, actually, we might get a green card in a week or two, maybe a month. And then we start researching, how exactly we can get the green card, actual green card. That is when the reality is going to come and kick us so hard, telling that, hey, wait, don't dream, because you are born in a large populous country like India, China, Philippines, and there is a lot of people who are already waiting ahead of you. There is no way that you can get your green card in your lifetime. Just keep renewing your H-1B visa. That's about it. Just enjoy that much. Don't expect too much. We contribute selflessly in a large manner by dedicating everything to this great country, and then US gets this top talent from across the world, but when it comes to giving the benefits to that, they put arbitrary country cap, right? So, because when getting selected as a student visa and in H-1B, there is no such, 7% country cap. Whoever who gets lucky, whoever who applies, everybody is welcomed. But when it comes to getting the green card in the same category, it's not in a different category. So we get selected in the employment-based category, and then we ask for an employment-based green card. That is when they start putting the conditions like 7%, right? So at that point of time, I started realizing that I should do something about it. And then I met with group-minded colleagues like Anuj and Prem, who are also the great advocates for this immigration advocacy. And then when we started researching, what are the options which are available to us, we came across a beautiful bill, which is a bipartisan bill, which is called HR 6542, which slowly, over a decade period of time, it is going to phase out this country cap, this arbitrary and inhuman country cap. so that it treats everyone, irrespective of which country you're from. It is going to treat everyone equally. So that is what I'm here to advocate for.
Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing about HR 6542. And my goal is that today everybody can collectively advocate for this bill and many others. Maichi, our audience would love to hear from someone like you who has been a Hmong community. You must be thrilled that the governor of Wisconsin recently signed a bill that makes Hmong education compulsory in the K 12 curriculum. How excited are you? And can you share more about your community and what the challenges your people face?
Nyozhong, on behalf of the Hmong family, I humbly greet all of you this morning. Just a little bit about the Hmong people in case some of you may not know who we are. We are a minority ethnic group originated in China. Through thousands of years of persecution, our family, the Hmong family, has moved down into other parts of Southeast Asian countries. And for myself personally, my family and I was born in Laos. Many of us here in the United States are from the country of Laos. During the Vietnam War, as some of you may know, there was also known as a secret war in Laos. The Hmong people, especially the young boys, ages starting as young as 12 years old, were recruited to serve as soldiers, helping the U.S. CIA rescue American pilots, gathering intelligences for the CIA to fight against the communist Pathet Lao. And so when the U.S. pulled out of Laos, obviously our family, the Hmong family, faced another persecution, this time through the communist Lao, Pathet Lao. And so with that, in the 1970s and the 80s, there was a massive resettlement of refugees. Majority of them are being the Hmong families in the United States, and that was the largest refugee resettlement, as you know. The initial resettlement in the United States was not as supportive of our parents or grandparents who came in this country. There was the high rates of poverty, post-traumatic distress disorder, and of course, the poor education outcomes for our children. Now, keep in mind, the Hmong people have never had a country of our own. And like I said before previously, through thousands of years, they've been persecuted in China. And so through that, now coming to Laos and having to go through another persecution, from the rural life in Laos to the urban areas in the United States where poverty is already high, that added to our upbringing in this country. Most of our parents had limited to no formal education. So they couldn't help us as children. And I was 4 years old when we came to this country. Work, our parents were working very low wage paying jobs because, again, they didn't have that formal education. And language barrier was a big factor for us in the 70s coming to this country. And so all of this combination really contributed to the youth in our community becoming involved in gangs and committing crimes. And so now there is a bill that we are trying to bring back so that we can also avoid having to send back our individuals, our Hmong people who are on the deportation list because of the crimes that they've committed. However, they have paid their time. They have transformed their lives and are working responsible individuals in the United States. And so I'm here to really advocate for the bill, which is the 6034 bill, to, again, really look into this situation for our Hmong families in the United States. So as an educator of 30 years in the public school system, I can also honestly tell all of you that I see this with our children, this long-term traumatic effect, the intergenerational trauma. and the poverty rates, all of those are still very present every day in our among lives in Minnesota.
Thank you so much. This has been very eye-opening, and I'm so glad you mentioned mental health, because we had a great panel yesterday, and we may be all from different communities, but we have some common issues. So, really glad you talked about that. Lucy, you're a leader from Alaska, representing the Asian and Pacific Islander population. Can you please talk about the growing population in Alaska and what immigration challenges your people are facing?
Testing. Thank you for the question. Well, I moved up in Alaska in 1985, and I believe at that year there was only maybe 12 or 15 of our Pacific Island people that live in Anchorage, and we gather in this little small trailer for our church on Sunday, and that's where it's like a family to us. Then we separate to our own home. From 1985 to 2024, we have close to about 30,000 Pacific Island in Alaska, all over Alaska. Out of 30,000, close to 30,000 Pacific Island, we have AAPI, about 76 or 67 thousand of our Asian and Pacific Island. Out of that, about 49 of them are registered voters in Alaska. So it shows that our group of AAPI community is growing so fast, and the higher the number, the more need that we see. And immigration is one of those issues that we see. During COVID, we've seen a lot of our elders move from our Pacific Islands, our Asian community. They move to Anchorage for better health and also for better as we know, we grew up in isolated island in the South Pacific, and it's really, really hot, and our health department in our Pacific Island is very, very low, where they can't do so much, for somebody. If they need a surgery or something, they have to ship them out to Hawaii or New Zealand or somewhere that they can get better treatment. So when they came during COVID, we seen a lot of them, they stuck in Alaska because they couldn't get back. And the whole year, the airplane was stuck. They can't even fly back home. So at the meantime, these individuals, they move up there because of appointment or looking for better health. The doctor would tell them, you cannot go back because you need to follow up. You need to do this. You have a surgery or so forth, So they stuck. At the same time, their visa is expired. And at the same time, they cannot get Medicaid. They cannot get any sense of assistance to be able to get them to go back and see the doctor or be able to get on a plane and return home. So what happened to these people that we see, they're stuck at home. They don't want to go outside of the house. They don't want to rock the boat. As you all know, that if they do, then the immigration will come and take and deported them. So, and those are individuals that we hardly see them, but we hear from family members, what can we do to help our parents? Or what can we do to help my mom? So they will not deported her or him back home, and then there's kids there. So the thing that we see that, and when I used to work for the state of Alaska, I retired after 27 years. I seen a lot of our people, they come in there and they renew a driver's license or something. And I see them waited. So I know there's something going on. So when I see them waited there for a few hours, and I go ask them, what is going on? Why are you sitting there? And they would say, oh, a manager or somebody's calling to verify something. So I know from there that they are calling ICE or they are calling immigration, because this person has expired visa or expired or coming with a Social Security or something doesn't match, So then I said, you know what? You need to go home. And I'll get your document and I'll call you later, it's because I don't want them to come and take you. I know why they have you sit there, because they're going to try to deport you back home. I seen a couple of them that happened. That Ace walked in the door and took him, and my heart is just like, their child is sitting there, and they took the parent. So the child said, where are you taking my parents? And so when they took them to the immigration office, and they shipped them to Seattle, and that would be the last time they would see them, and they deported them back home. And that would be 10 years before they even can come back to Alaska or see their kids or so forth. So the other thing that we see also in Alaska is when these people that are expired visa and try to renew their paperwork, they send in all the requirements. They call in the immigration office. They send in requirements, and they waited and waited and waited. Nothing is returned. And so they, at the same time they're waiting, they need to go see the doctor. They need to get Medicaid. They need to get food stamp. They can't survive, and y'all know Alaska is so cold. We have like 7 months of winter and only a few months of summer. We can't grow our crops in the back of our land, of our house. We don't own that. So therefore, they either, homeless or moving in and live with other parents. English is a second language to our individual as well. And so that also is a problem for them to be able to get assistance and help on what they need to get their paperwork and the documents. So what we see on some of them, we would tell them what you can do is to go straight one way to American Samoa or to Western Samoa or to Tonga or wherever, the island that you're from. And when you get there, then you will have to go to renew your visa, renew your passport before you even come back. And don't book a round-trip ticket because they're not going to bring you back. So go straight to the island, get your paperwork done, and then come back to the United States. So
Thank you so much for that. It's definitely a very unfortunate situation, and I appreciate you for sharing your story. And I want to share that I had reached out to Bhuvan Pyakurel, the first Bhutanese American elected into public office, who couldn't be here today because of a conflict, but wanted me to share some challenges faced by the Bhutanese community. The suicide rate in Bhutanese community is highest among any other refugee community in the country, as noted by CDC. Many Bhutanese Americans don't speak English, so there's a huge language barrier, and they have a tough time navigating legal issues. Sounds familiar? And our foundation has been helping a lot of these people from the Bhutanese community and other communities because they are sometimes wrongfully terminated from their jobs, and we are able to talk to them and explain that, sometimes there is a religious clause that's omitted or ignored, and we explain that their termination is wrong, and we've helped them get their jobs back. So we do a lot of important work like that, and I just wanted to share that. Bullying is a huge issue in the Bhutanese community, and the Bhutanese students either attempt suicide or they die by suicide. Both parents and students need training on this critical issue. Many community members left in the refugee camp in Nepal have been waiting for more than 15 years for a family reunion. And, we may all represent different Asian communities here, but when we look closely, there are many common issues that we face. And Bhutanese, Hindu, and Buddhist refugees living in America face issues retaining their religious and cultural traditions because of pressure to convert. So I'm going to come back to the panelists because I know you have a lot to talk about, and unfortunately we had a good break, but unfortunately it ate up into our time. So in 2 minutes or less, Satya, I would like you to explain why, in spite of bipartisan support for HR 6542, why haven't these bills passed? I mean, what is it going to take to get to the finish line? And how can the community help?
Yeah, thank you, Ramya. So one thing mainly why this is not touching the finish line is a lack of awareness among everyone. Because none of the mainstream media talks about the legal challenges or immigration issues that we face being a legal immigrant, right? So that is one disheartening thing for us. So because of this, majority of the community member, even our own community member, are not aware of these arbitrary discriminatory country caps that are present, because of which they realize very late. For example, by the time I realized that, I will never get a green card, it almost like, it was 8 years, and then we had already started building our lives here. So that is one important thing where in such kind of summits from the AAUC and the GoPio and all other organizations, with the support from the media, if this things becomes more dominant topic, that is one thing that can help us, because media and all the politicians think that immigration means border means immigration. They think that there is nothing other than the border there is an issue, but there is a lot of issue, because we are not coming into the America right now. We are already settled in America for 10-15 years legally, and we have not been recognized and given the due benefits, is what I strongly feel. But this HR 6542, I request everyone who is present here and all the co-sponsors of this particular event, if you could, support us and then communicate with your local congressmen and then senators, and then pitch in for passing of, supporting, co-sponsoring and passing of the 6542, as well as in the Senate version, that is S321. Yeah.
To finish your thought, and I want to go back to Maichi and Lucy to share a little bit more about the issues that you didn't get a chance to talk about the first time. And then hopefully we'll have a little bit of time for Q&A and give the audience a chance to ask questions. Please go ahead.
Sure. So as I stated earlier, since 1998, we still have about 4,700 U.S. residents, mostly Hmong and other Southeast Asian descents, facing deportation. So that is the biggest issue for us in Minnesota right now, due to past criminal convictions. Again, like I stated earlier, they have served their time, and now they have transformed their lives and working responsible citizens of this country. And so by reinstating this bill 6034, which is also known as the Hmong and Lao Refugee Deportation Prohibition Act of 2020, that is very key, because under the Trump administration, our communities were increasingly targeted with criminal convictions, despite, again, like I said, having transformed our lives to become deported back to Laos. And we know that right now there is no agreement between the U.S. and Laos. And so many of these folks are, their futures are unknown. They're just living in limbo, working but not knowing if one day they may be deported back to a country that, sure, they might have been born there but don't know anything about, have no family relations there anymore, and not protected either with human rights. And so this is very important for us right now to really get Congress to push this bill through, to reinstate it and push it through, so that we are protected and that we can live in this country and be, again, productive, responsible citizens of the United States.
Thank you. And once again, I want to mention it's HR 6034. Please remember when you go this afternoon to offices so that you can advocate for this, and also HR 6542. Lucy, please go ahead and share more about how everyone here in this room can help advocate for your community.
Thank you. Well, I don't have a bill, but I can tell you what we're going through in Alaska with our AAPI, especially our Pacific Island community. Now, if you don't understand, there's two parts of Samoa. There's American Samoa and there's Western Samoa. Then we have Tongan itself. So American Samoa is under the national of the United States, so they can travel in and out without a visa. Western Samoa part is they travel in with the visa and green card. So, and then also our sister Tongan community island. So those are the ones that we are very watch out for, because when our sisters and brothers move up in Alaska, where now the percentage is so high of our Pacific Island that move up to Alaska, and the need, when they move up there, most of them live in Anchorage, and Anchorage is the biggest city in Alaska. And in Anchorage, there is a lot of percentage of homeless. And also, our community, they move in, and most of them live in a low-income area in Anchorage, and a lot of them, they move up with their kids. So, for example, if a parent that live in Tongan or a Western Samoa parent that move up there for treatment, and they're there for only a certain amount of years or so, and the doctor would tell them that you cannot return back home because you need surgery or else you're gonna die. So why would you wanna go back home when you have to stay there for your health? So at the same time that their visa, like I said earlier, that will be expired, their kids are there. Their kids are not citizen. You know, they're there also for either under their visa for a certain period of time. So while they're going through this, they need to look at ways of how to extend this medical condition, this assistance that they will give for their loved ones that is there for treatment. At the same time, they are trying to look for immigration paperwork. How can they stay? The doctor will refer them with a note to the immigration, and that says that it's a matter of life and death, that they cannot go back home, that they will have to stay. So, but at the meantime, they have to wait. And like we talk about the backlog of all the paperwork that we are waiting for, it takes years before they even get back. And some people, they died before they even get treatment. They before they even get their visa, they never return home. God take them away, but I mean that, and then kids are left there. But those that are still there are fighting through their right to, how can I get this process? How can I survive? How can I save my mom or dad? So those are returned back home. They never come back to their loved ones. They stay there for 10 or more years until they get their green cards or their. So, and these are the things that we see, that they're very hush-hush in there. Right now, Polynesian Association of Alaska, after COVID, we connected with the immigration there in Alaska and work in partnership, because I want them to come in and show our community what they need to do, what kind of document they need to do in order for them to stay legal and get their paperwork done. And at the same time, a lot of our immigrant people that have expired paper, they don't join those, but they send their loved one, their kids, to join those to get the information they need, and at the same time also they try to survive. So those are the issues that we see up in Alaska. And for us that have visas and green card, they're able to work. But also, when you work with a green card or a visa, you only get so much pay. They give you the job that, they don't give you a higher paying job. They give you the minimum wage job. It's because they think that we don't know that bad. We don't have that much knowledge. So the thing that we're working with our people in Alaska is to educate our community, educate them to move up to that level and be better in our community. So Polynesian Association of Alaska also started a radio program. And this radio program is called Pacifica Voice of Alaska. And it is a way that we can bring out our people, bring out whatever issue that we have that is going on in Anchorage or in Alaska, that we share with our community in our native language. And that's every Saturday. So, and Brother Yo was talking about media. Yes, we see that happen in our community as well, because they don't provide that information on media. If there's something good that we did, but only the bad things that they will say out in the media to put us down. So in order for us to bring us up, we have to go out and say, hey, we can do this. And this is what we did, why we did the Pacifica Voice of Alaska, is to bring out our people and tell them, we are educated people. We're not those people that you think that we are, And so if you have something like that, you have on media, you have a radio station, you have, we have to continue doing what we have to do. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for educating our audience about all the issues. And I'm sure many of us here didn't know what are some of the real everyday challenges the community is facing. And I really hope that we can all come together to help and support you. I hope we have some time for Q&A. Can we? Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to open the session for Q&A. I would request you to keep your questions short. And also, if possible, please mention the panelist whom it is for. We have a...
Hello, thank you so much for that great panel. My question's for both Lucy and Maitzu, like your stories about your communities and what you've dealt with. Very, very moving. I would love to learn a little bit more, because in both of your stories on your communities, you guys have basically worked with agencies that were hostile and a threat in some ways to your community, and then kind of pivoted on its head and turned those into partnerships on how to work towards addressing, gang violence and reducing the involvement in gangs, or ICE, and kind of how do you educate on what documentation you need. So can you guys kind of talk about how your communities and your organizations kind of, threatening organizations within the government, for lack of better wording, how you were able to pivot those into partnerships? Thanks.
Maichi, you want to go first, and then Lucy can.
So definitely, building relationships with those agencies, working directly with them, helping them understand where we're coming from. Another area would be to, for those who have been in the system, to really come back and educate all of us, because they know what they have gone through and they went through it firsthand. And so their experience to come back and re-educate all of us and our youth right now, so that it doesn't repeat and we stop the cycle of trauma again. So those are some immediacy that I would that we are working on in our community, is really building that relationship with those who are in the government agencies or other organizations, so that we can really continue to improve in that pathway for our future.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Polynesian Association of Alaska, since COVID hit and we've seen the issue that we're going through, every quarter we do Pacific Island Community Connection. And this is to bring our community together, and then for them to hear from different organization leaders that would bring in as speakers from whatever organization that we feel that it's an important piece that our people need to learn. So for instance, when we return to Alaska, we have on Monday, we have a community connection with the immigration, and that is working with how to petition, how to bring people in, how to, your loved ones. So we are partnered with the immigration office in Alaska, and every quarter, if they are available, they provide different services that they give out to the community, and that is a way that we connected with our community. Besides that, we also bring in other different organizations, not just immigration, but like in health, social services, employment, and so forth. So we are really partnered trying to educate our community and also them that come in to learn from us.
Thank you. Any other question? Sure.
Yeah, it's great to learn about all this issue, but I bet there is like much more to this issue. So how can people, if they want to find out more or support more, where they can find out more about this issue?
Yeah, definitely. The one thing is they can certainly reach out to the GoPio and all of us, basically. All the supporting organizations, we are all here, we will exchange the information about how to reach out to us. And you can reach out to us if you need any documentation or the drafts that you require to communicate with your congressman, because I know you're all busy in your own lives, and then you may not have time for everything, right? Like, we can help you with those things too. Like, you can reach out to us, and then we will support you with all the documentation, all the contents that you could just, send it and forward it to your respective congressman's office, so that, we can get this kind of support. So definitely, we can work like that.
Awesome. I think that would be really great if you can just give people the contacts and the email templates so that it's easy for them to just shoot an email and all the information is there.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Satya.
Thank
And
you.
thank you all for your insightful contributions and passionate discussions. Do we have time for one more question? Okay. This can be the last because we have another panel.
Yeah, one suggestion could be if we can have a print copy. We are going for the advocacy. We can give it to the congressmen, senators, or later on, if you can give us a digital, so we can send it out to our congressmen and senators. So both ways we can serve.
Yeah,
the purpose.
definitely. I got a lot of printouts. It's probably there in the table. I'm going to be giving everyone regarding the issues that we are facing, the detailed issues in brief, as well as the summary of the bills that we are advocating for. So definitely, please take as much as you want, like, how many offices that you're visiting, and please pass it on behalf of us, and then reach out to us. Like, we have the digital copies as well. We'll be happy to share with all of you. Yeah, thank you.
I love how prepared you've come.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That makes it easier. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Our panel today has highlighted the diverse experiences and perspectives within the Asian American community, underscoring the rich tapestry of cultures, histories, and challenges that define our collective narrative. We've explored a range of issues from immigration policies and their impacts to cultural identity and community resilience. Your stories have illuminated both the unique obstacles and the remarkable strengths that come from navigating the complex landscape of immigration. As we move forward, it's clear that our journey is one of both shared struggles and distinct experiences. We've seen how interconnected our stories are, despite our diverse backgrounds, and how crucial it is to continue advocating for policies that address our varied needs while fostering unity and understanding among us. So let's all commit to building on the connections we've made today. By amplifying each other's voices and supporting each other's causes, we can work towards a future where every Asian American's experience is acknowledged and valued. Together, we can strive for policies and communities that reflect our collective strengths and promote a more inclusive society. Thank you once again to all three panelists. Can we give them a big round of applause? And thank you for your courage in sharing your personal stories, and to our audience for engaging and asking all these great questions and for this important dialogue. We need to keep continuing this conversation and work together towards a future where everyone's story is heard and respected. Thank you and namaste.